What's good, everyone? Welcome back for another session. This time I am going to be showcasing the Extreme Z Awakened Extreme Strength type Super Buu unit, and I did test out the Super Vegito unit earlier, so of course this is kind of the following EZA that came about. So I did kind of go through a couple of different scenarios, the combination of Infinite Dragon Ball history and also the Ultimate Red Zone as well, because of the transformation requirements in some of these. It requires your HP to be quite low. So with that being said, I know I already covered this, but let me just go ahead and talk about the overall skill sets. I will note throughout this video that the STR Super Buu is linked up with the physical LR version of Buuhan, just for consistency purposes. That's kind of the way I set it up, even though there are other units that could be potentially linked up with the rotation. So pre-transform, this guy has a leader skill of transformation boost category, key +3 HP attack and defense of 170%, or extreme strength types get key +3 HP and attack and defense increase of 120%. For the super attack ability, greatly raises attack for 1 turn, causes immense damage to enemy, and also greatly lowers attack and defense. For the passive skill, it's a key +1 attack and defense increase of 120%. Raises defense by up to 120%. The more the HP remaining, the greater the defensive boost, plus an additional attack and defense increase of 60% when attacking, and also plus an additional defense increase of 60% within the same turn after receiving an attack. Transform into a specific form when conditions are met. And in terms of like the absorption conditions, here are the following. So generally speaking, transform starting from the 5th turn from the start of battle. The Piccolo Absorb version will be when HP is 49% or below, and then for the Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks Absorb version, its HP is between 50% and 79%. And then for the Ultimate Gohan Absorb version, its HP is between 80% and 100%, so literally over 80% would be the or 80% or above should be the right way to phrase that anyway. But moving on, Link skills, you've got Majin that's level 10, key +2, attack and defense increase of 15%. Brutal Beatdown will be attack increase of 15%. Metamorphosis will be 5% HP recovery, attack and defense increase of 10%. Infinite Regeneration will be key +2, recovers 3% HP and defense increase of 10%. Fear and Faith will be all enemies minus 10% defense and key +2. The Wall Standing Tall disables enemies' true power, which is the equivalent of attack increase of 20% in this case. And then Fierce Battle will be attack increase of 20%. Let me just highlight the categories. So you've got Majin Buu Saga Transformation Boost, Artificial Life Forms, Kamehameha Final Trump Card, Majin Power, Power Absorption, Heavenly Events, Time Limit, Sworn Enemies, and Worldwide Chaos. Now you've got, again, 3 different transform states. So we'll start with the Piccolo version, where the super attack will massively raise defense for 1 turn, causes immense damage to enemy, and then 20% HP recovery, attack and defense increase of 140%. These are all passive skills, by the way. All allies key +3 and defense increase of 40%. Also reduces damage received by 50% as the first or second attacker in the turn, and then you also get defense increase of 60%, as well as all allies attack increase of 40%. And chance of performing a critical hit +8% as a 3rd attack in the turn, which I did not do in this showcase, but there is an option to use this guy as a floater essentially. And then lastly, recovers 10% HP at the end of the turn for 6 turns from the start of turn. Link skills do change, like Demonic Waves and Brainiacs are the ones that replace the pre-transformed state. And then overall into the Gotenks unit, super attack causes immense damage to enemy and also lowers attack and defense, as well as sealing the super attack. For the passive skill, you do recover 10% HP, along with key +1, attack increase of 180% and defense increase of 140%. Plus an additional attack and defense increase of 80% when attacking, plus an additional attack and defense 80% when the target enemy is in an attack down or defense down status. Footnote, in this showcase, in this transformed state, the enemy did not have an attack down or defense down status, so you do not see the incremental 80% toward attack and defense. Alright, so along with that, you've got key +1 defense increase of 80%, and also a great chance of launching an additional super attack for 6 turns from the start of turn. In terms of links, the replacements here are Over in a Flash and Kamehameha. Alright, lastly speaking, let's go on to the Buhan unit. So the super attack for this guy will greatly raise attack and defense for 3 turns, along with causing immense damage to enemy. Passive skill recovers 12% HP, key +2, attack and defense increase of 180%. Raises defense by up to 120% max. The more HP remaining, the greater the defensive boost. Plus an additional attack increase of 80% when attacking. Launches an additional attack that's got a high chance of becoming a super attack. And also a great chance of guarding all attacks for 6 turns from the start of turn. Lastly, high chance of guarding all attacks starting from the 7th turn. In terms of the link replacements, you've got Big Bag Bosses and Shocking Speed. So a lot of information related to this unit, and I essentially spent 50% of this video just talking about the overall stats and whatnot, but you have 3 different transform states, so obviously there's a lot of different mechanics around that. I think the first initial thing to note is I'm assuming most players right now are more satisfied and happy with this guy's EZA versus the physical Super Vegito version. I'm just going to go ahead and guess that's the case. Even though it's a little bit, unfair to judge Super Vegito along with some of the other units that are more new and better, but considering the guy has a lot of different parameters built around his overall kit, like the counter mechanics and damage reduction, raising allies' attack and defense based on super and stuff like that. You can't really base it on like a super attack, attack stats, so to speak, right? But I get it. Like it's even for myself, it's a little bit underwhelming, and depending on the type of events, again, I haven't really thoroughly tested either of these units yet to be able to make a determination on it. But the guy might be very specific to a certain type of event, whereas this version of Super Buu with the EZA, it's more comprehensive in terms of the type of events you could potentially utilize this unit in. So again, like I said with the Super Vegito video, I do plan on over the weekend testing this unit out on more different settings. I did include footage from the Red Zone versus just strictly Infinite Dragon Ball history, but I do want to test out like specific events in Red Zone as well as Super Battle Road and stuff of that nature. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how that plays out. But I think overall, I mean, to be honest with you, as soon as I EZA'd the unit here and started going through runs on a couple of events, immediately after seeing this guy in action, I was definitely surprised. I'm not gonna lie to you, in terms of like the overall attack output or whatnot. Defensively, this unit's pretty good too. However, I did see on the Ultimate Red Zone event, this guy eat up supers like crazy, depending on what state you're in. But I might have included some footage on here, but yeah, I mean it's give or take. I just want to play around with this unit a little bit more to be able to kind of really tell how to best use this guy essentially, right? It's a good thing that the EZA came out, because I honestly cannot remember the last time I actually used this unit. Even for cases like Battlefield, I don't even know if I include this guy currently, but this EZA definitely made this guy, for lack of better words, a more current state unit. So I could definitely see myself, running this category setup, or generally speaking, like the more appropriate, I guess, team builds, right? Because for this one, you do have to include the new, LR Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Vegeta. And, obviously, you have to build a link partner for that guy, for the other rotation, and then you're also going to have a floater that's the same LR, and, obviously it works out, but it'd be nice to be able to build, I guess, a team specifically synergetic to all members of the squad, basically, right? So that's kind of what I want to play around with a little bit, but given the setups of like the category boost with upwards of 200% nowadays, this is I believe the only one that this unit applies on. Correct me if I'm wrong, but going through it, that's kind of what I noticed, and it could be specifically based on my deck, and viable options. So I can't remember 100% if that's factual or not, but again, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments section. So I don't want any wrong information floating out there or anything, so certainly correct me if I'm wrong. I am curious as to like what your overall satisfaction levels are with this guy. I'm pretty confident that most players are pretty happy with the outcome with the EZA of this unit versus the Super Vegito. I mean, I can certainly see the physical Vegito unit being a love-or-hate type situation, similar to maybe like the strength type Kaioken Blue Goku or whatever the case is. But you know, we'll see. You know, the more opportunities we have to test out the unit and potentially new type of events coming out, maybe the Vegito unit is going to come in and become a really new MVP type of unit. We'll have to see how that plays out. But you know, the Super Buu unit is certainly a lot more straightforward in terms of, you know, net differences between the pre-EZA and post-EZA. I mean, even though Vegeta is technically too. But I think the differences are a lot more obvious in this version versus others. So, yeah, I mean, I just showed you there. I had type disadvantage against the AGL Cell, and yeah, definitely took a lot of hits with the super attack. Even though, actually, that is the Gotenks version. For some reason, I was thinking it might have been the Piccolo version, where you do have like the reduced damage ability and whatnot, but I guess in this case, for the Butex, for lack of better words, this guy really missed out on, you know, the 80% toward attack and defense, while the enemy has a attack and defense down status, or attack or defense down status. So, you know, in this showcase, you kind of missed out on additional potential, you know, stats toward attack and defense. But yeah, I think overall I'm pretty happy, and this unit performed really well. Again, I want to play around with this a little bit more, test out different events, and see how that plays out. But for the time being, I hope you guys enjoyed the showcase for the EZA Strength Type Super Buu unit, and found some of the information helpful or made it a little bit more clear in terms of how this unit performs overall in a couple of different settings. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and close out here. As always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys later. Alright, I'm out of here.